G'day, this is Peter from Petton Lifestyle, and today I want to talk about slackjack. Sounds funny, doesn't it? That slackjack can be sort of broadcast and educated in many ways. But I did some personal development today, and I normally do that when I'm looking for answers or looking for ideas. But the interesting thing was I went across to the island the other day and I spoke to quite a few different people who wanted to get going and get started in our business and earn something like Nicola's done, one of our new distributors, $50,000 a month. But then I got back to thinking, what's different? Why is she different from me? Why haven't I earned that amount of money? What version of myself is actually turning up every day? And so I ended up writing a full list of all the reasons. And there was quite a big reason, quite a big list too, to actually get along and read through. Then I broke them all up and I thought, well, you know what? 9 times out of 10, I believe that we get into a habit of being a slackjack. Now, slackjack is someone who comes from their lower self of thinking. Now, there's a lower self and a higher self. The lower self will have yourself creating doubts. A lot of monkey chatter comes in lower thought thinking because you start to live the fear, the anxiety, the worry, the control, and all the other bits and pieces that you really can't control anyway. But you create this story, you create a perception of what could happen, and you end up creating a belief that is actually a false belief that you categorically believe, and that's the one thing that'll keep you stuck. So I sat back and had to think about what have I done. Like, we've hit 30,000 a couple of times. We've never really gone over it. This week we might go over it, but I don't want to put the kibosh on it. But what is it? What is the higher level of thought? When we talk about higher self and lower self, higher level means that you don't let yourself off the hook. You become dedicated to the cause. You're becoming, holding yourself accountable. But it also means that you have to do a different type of action that is clear, concise, and constant. They must all work that way, otherwise you can't keep moving forward. I made an analogy to a friend of mine this morning that sometimes we are always working in the wind. And we've got our head down, working, and we believe something and we'll follow it through because it's been a passed down belief or maybe it's been an experience. And there always comes a time where that wind's going to pull you up. And I call it leading your shadow. Whenever your shadow is leading you, you can bet your bottom dollar you're going backwards. Or you're associating that much with your past that you can't go forward. So whenever that breeze is blowing, and you're working, you know what? You're going to struggle because you just keep collecting all of the doubts and all of the obstacles that you don't want. You start planning, you start creating, you start trying to work out how you can remove them. Whereas when you get to that line in the sand and you actually get to stop and pull up and turn around and the wind becomes at your back and your shadow you can't see, only then can you take control of where you're going. And I think that's one of the biggest keys to anything in this industry and anything in creating success. There comes a point where you've got to pack up your bullshit and send it away. You've got to call yourself out on it. And this Slackjack campaign that we're going to run for the next 15 weeks is about getting aware of what you were saying, what you believe, and what actions you aren't doing. Because, I mean, I looked at a couple of things that I did and I thought, I'm sure we should be here, we should be here. Then I broke it up and said, well, are you doing what, say, Nicola McNamara is doing? Are you putting through 7 people every day, 7 days a week? No. Well, why do you expect to get the same result? Why do you expect to get a shortcut? There is no shortcut. The shortcut is stop stacking the odds against you. It takes as long as it takes. The more action you put into it, the more you will move forward. The more belief you put in yourself, the less obstacles and the less wind that'll blow in your face. At some stage, you've got to call yourself on your life and your own attitude. That's what the Slackjack campaign's about. It's about getting aware of Are you doing what you need to do to get the result that you put your hand up to get? That's our little tip for this Saturday, and we're going to be talking about a few of these slackjack things on a Saturday anyway, to get people in the headspace that you may be having some form of success in your business or your job or whatever the case is. There may be something else that is holding you back, and it's all because of a little attitude adjustment that's needed, and that's what this program's always meant to be for. It's not so meant to tell you that come and join my business and we'll show you how to make a lot of money. That's not it. It's about waking you up, getting you aware of what you're saying, what you're thinking, and what you're believing. Have an amazing Saturday. This is a Bushpreneur signing out. Cheers.